Hey guys, Marsing here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so I, at time of recording, just got done watching Dragon Ball Superhero. You guys have probably seen, if you've been on Twitter in the last like 24 hours, people have been sharing links to multiple different uploaded versions in multiple different levels of quality. Now the one that I managed to see was touched up a little bit by somebody, basically just making the picture not only the right way round, because the original YouTube one that got linked was like on its side, but also, you know, steadying the camera up a little bit. You can still see like the top part of a seat, and there are a couple of bits where like people move slightly in front of the camera, but I mean, what can you expect, right, when it's recorded on a phone like in the movie theater? So just got done watching it, and it's so good. I'm not obviously going to go into loads of details. This isn't a review of the movie, but even considering the fact that it's all obviously in Japanese with no subtitles, so I literally couldn't understand a word that was being said, well, you know, apart from the odd one or two here and there, I really enjoyed it. When it comes to stuff like this, if you want to seek out a copy like that to watch, it's, you know, obviously it's not something I particularly have a problem with. I did it myself, but I know that I will still be going to see it at the cinema when it comes out over here. I'd already seen Broly before it came out, and I think I saw it 3 times at the cinema. So it's one of those things. I don't mind a little bit of piracy here and there, as long as you actually do support the official release. Because at the end of the day, we all want Dragon Ball to thrive. We all want Dragon Ball to continue. So if we all just watch, you know, the cam version and then nobody goes to see it at the cinema when it comes out in the West, then that sends the message to Toei that the West is not as interested in Dragon Ball anymore. So even though it's their fault, and they just should have released it everywhere at the same time. Like, imagine how hyped we would have all been if we could have all gone to go and see it, like, over the last couple of days. Like, it would have been so good. But anyway, since the hype is real, I wanted to talk a little bit about when the superhero proper units and collaboration stuff is going to come out. Not just on Global, but on JP, because obviously the stuff has only just started to come out. And by that, I mean literally we have this Gohan from a story event. So if we look at the timeline for JP, this is obviously where we are now. We are technically in the part 2. If we go back to May, this was obviously the end of the Golden Week celebration with the Part 2 LR of Goku and Gohan. And then, of course, JP moved into the Resurrection of F celebration. So we got the Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta unit. We got the Super Strike revamp for Mecha Frieza, obviously the Sidebanner unit Jacko. We got the Easy A's as well for Metal Cooler LR, and, you know, this is all part and parcel of the Super Strike revamp. And we are moving into Part 2 now as we go into June. So we did get the Easy A for the free-to-play Tech Ginyu Force. We've got the Easy A for Angel Gold and Frieza, and then they introduced this story event that is our first taste of the Dragon Ball superhero stuff. Now, we are expecting an announcement of the Part 2 LR. I'm recording this on the evening of the 13th in the UK. And it's going to go up on the 14th. It's probably the 14th wherever you are, depending on what time this video goes up. So it's actually very possible at the time that I'll probably schedule this video to go up, we may have actually already had the Part 2 LR reveal. So just in case that is true, I'm estimating there's going to be a Golden Frieza. So if it has been revealed, well, I guess we'll see if I was right. Now, we know that this is the spot that we are in, because if we actually go back to the previous year, this is the same like point that we're at now, right? If we go back to May, we had a Dokkan Fest. This is obviously part of Golden Week. We got the Easy A's for the TUR Super Saiyan 4s. Got LR Super 17 as the Part 2 LR. And then we moved into the next Dokkan Fest, which was the AGL Kid Gohan. And then, of course, as we moved into June, that was when their Part 2 LR came out, which was the Int, Goku, and Piccolo. So this is where we are right now, right? This Easy A spot is the in Angel Gold and Frieza. And then this is the Part 2 LR that has not yet been announced. Now, straight after this, as you can see, this is when JP has their Tanabata celebration, which is the 30th of June, or at least it was last year. I'm not sure if it's a specific day that the celebration actually starts in Japan. So I don't know if they are restricted to it having to start on the 30th of June, but that's around that kind of time. Now, that is in 2 weeks from now. So even that feels like such a long time to wait. Like, the hype is real, especially if you're in Japan. Like, you went to see the movie, like, you know, 2 days ago at this point, and we're potentially going to have to wait 2 weeks. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it is going to be the Tanabata. I've seen a lot of people say Worldwide Download Celebration, but the problem is Worldwide Download Celebration is on both versions at the same time. And obviously, whilst the Worldwide Download Celebration is closer to the release of the movie in the West, I really don't think they're going to wait, you know, 2 months to release the movie stuff on JP. Because if you think about, like, the UI Goku, when Ultra Instinct Omen first appeared in that first episode of Dragon Ball Super, we got the introduction of the UI theme, which was a goddamn awesome OST. That first scene of him fighting back against Jiren and Toppo. UI Goku came out on JP Dokkan the next day. So the fact that, you know, this stuff hasn't come out already makes it a little bit behind in comparison to some of that other stuff. I know the Broly units, I think they only waited like a week or 2 weeks. We went over this in the video yesterday where we talked about when they introduced that story event with the Coat Goku and Vegeta and the base Broly. That is obviously the equivalent of this base SSR AGL Gohan that we have now. So literally within 2 weeks, they then brought out the physical Broly and AGL Gogeta banners. So the time actually kind of syncs up perfectly with this Tanabata festival starting. Now, one big thing that I know everybody is talking about, we do not know any details on what they are going to release, and I know a lot of people are expecting a dual Dokkan Fest, and I guess we can't really talk about this next part without going into spoilers. So if you somehow haven't managed to be spoiled yet on who, like, the last boss of the movie is, then I guess click off if you don't want to know, because we kind of have to go into spoilers a little bit. I'll stay out of some of the details for the proper end of the movie stuff, but I can't really talk about this next bit without talking about spoilers. So be warned, spoilers begin in 3, 2, 1. So, obviously the last boss of the movie is Cell Max, who is a giant beast of a creature. Now, Dokkan has never done a giant character like that big as a normal unit. You think about, like, the sprite on the screen and all that kind of stuff. Dokkan has only ever done those kind of units as transformations, like, you know, the giant ape mode or the rage mode, like Harudagan for Tapion, that kind of thing. They've never done a unit like that as an actual standalone summonable unit. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't, but that does kind of give me the impression that maybe we won't actually get Cell Max as like a summonable unit. Maybe we get him as a raid boss, like I mean, just a chain battle would be pretty lame, but a raid boss, hey, who knows? Maybe they could even give us, like, one special event, you know, a new red zone stage that is specifically for Cell or something like that. I guess it doesn't make sense to the red zone because he doesn't have, like, transformations or anything, so it'd only have one stage. But it could be kind of like the God event, I guess, type thing, like a new event where you just fight Cell Max and he's really hard. But after seeing the movie, like, I don't know if he would necessarily be a summonable unit. And that kind of plays into the fact that he could potentially be released, the Dragon Ball Superhero stuff could potentially be released as the Tanabata Festival, because then it's not going to be a dual Dokkan Fest, because there is no summonable Cell Max unit. So obviously that would mean that the actual Tanabata LR is going to be Gohan, who I imagine is probably going to be summonable either as Ultimate Gohan or as, like, a Super Saiyan Gohan, and then he's going to have a transformation into what happens at the end of the movie. I could even potentially see, because that last part is quite short, I could potentially see him being a summonable Super Saiyan Gohan who has a transformation into Ultimate and then has an active skill, which is the part from the end. So interesting, no way to really know, but there's enough animations from those previous forms that he could be an LR and have Super Saiyan and Ultimate form in the actual card. And then, of course, the side banner unit, which in this previous instance was the Gotenks to go along with Gogeta, could be one of the new versions of Piccolo, because of the various things that happen in the movie. Some of the stuff has already been spoiled in the trailers, but I am trying to be a little bit careful. But, you know, we all know that Piccolo does some new things, so he could definitely be a side banner unit. The only interesting thing is we could quite easily get at least 2 different Piccolos out of all the movie stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how they do that, because I don't want them to incorporate all of that stuff into just one card, because that feels like a bit of a waste. But so the Tanabata Festival 100% could be the superhero stuff. Now the problem is, if it isn't, then on JP, when we move into July, and obviously this is just going by last year, we have the second part, like this all just keeps going on, the second part of the Tanabata Festival. Remember, the Tanabata Festival pretty much lasts all of July, and there's a part 2 LR. Now, if they make the Tanabata Festival superhero, the part 2 LR has to be something superhero related as well. So I guess that could be the Cell Max, because last year they did Gogeta and then Janemba as the part 2 LR, or that could be a different version of Piccolo, depending on what we get is like the side banner in part 1. There's a couple of different ways that they could do this, but it definitely could fit into the Tanabata slot. And then of course, as we get to the end of July, there's another Dokkan Fest on JP. And then after that Dokkan Fest, we move into August, and that's when we start to get into the worldwide download celebration. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. If it is the worldwide download celebration, that feels really weird to me, just because that's like 2 months away from now. Because the worldwide download celebration doesn't start at the beginning of August either, so that's over 2 months from now. Are they really going to wait that long to put superhero stuff into Dokkan? I don't know. And then when we look at global, this is obviously based on the 6-year anniversary stuff. So we are currently in June, and this is the stuff that we're getting right now. I guess we have to go back to last year to see the actual details, but for us, we will have the June stuff. This is all what's going on now. Then July is when we get the anniversary, so I guess that's why it only goes up to here. So July, we get the anniversary, and then all of that stuff is going to be going on for the whole of July. Even August, that's when we should potentially be getting Raditz. Now, it's around August that the movie's going to be coming out in the West. So it's not impossible, because they have done this before, where they've shifted the order of stuff. So the Tanabata Festival normally has always come to global in December, but last year they brought Gogeta to global in November, which is when we were expecting Super Vegeta, and Super Vegeta was actually delayed. So they have done this in the past, and we know that global is very weird with their scheduling. So I don't know if they would bring it forth this early. This would actually be crazy though. Like, for global players, especially if you don't spend, this would be horrible to have the anniversary. Then in August, they bring up the Tanabata stuff. So the Dragon Ball superhero stuff comes out in August. And then at the end of August, we go to the worldwide download celebration. That would be an absolute nightmare. So after August, we go into September. This is where the download celebration pretty much carries on. Like, the part 2 LRs came out midway through, so this pretty much takes us all the way to up to the end of September. We go into October, and this is where we will then get whatever the Dokkan Fest is that JP is going to be getting after the Blues. And then this is where, like I was saying, the year before, they then brought up the release of Gogeta and the Tanabata stuff to November. So if the movie's coming out in August in the West, I don't know. Again, it all comes down to how long are they going to wait. And I think the biggest thing is we need to see when it's going to come out on JP. Because when it comes out on JP, that's where we're going to get the idea of how early it comes out. So if the superhero stuff is the Tanabata Festival, I feel like they're not going to leave the Tanabata Festival until November and December again. But then it becomes really tricky of where to slot it in. And especially if you're a big Heroes fan like me, and then Heroes comes up at the end of November. So this is potentially going to be a very expensive rest of the year for global players. So let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think is likely for us? Is it going to be the Tanabata? Is it going to be a dual Dokkan Festival and be the worldwide download celebration? It would be interesting if they did release it for worldwide, because it wouldn't be out in certain places. So That would be kind of weird, but I mean, I wouldn't be against it because, you know, the sooner it comes out, the better. Worldwide is always like a big celebration that we know is going to bring some hype stuff. So if that was the superhero stuff, I guess that takes away another potential awesome thing it could be that is yet another thing you'd have to spend stones on. So very interesting to see what it is actually going to be. Let me know down below in the comments section what you are expecting or what you are hoping for it to be. What do you think the best case scenario is? And what do you think we are going to see? Let me know down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.